Okay, guys, I'm starting the class. See, in our last class, we just discussed the definition of computer system, computer network, communication device, then computer resource, data, information, then electronic form, electronic gadget, and you know electronic records. Okay, there are many other definition also that I have deliberately not discussed, and whenever it is required we will discuss that definition also as per our requirement, because there are many other words uh, that in itself would not get its relevance or would not be better understandable unless and until we discuss the provision in which or the reference to which they are used in the IT Act. From now, I'm starting the second chapter, and the name of second chapter is legal recognition and authentication of electronic record. As the name of the chapter suggests, that it cover two things. One is the legal recognition, and second is the authentication of the electronic record. The legal recognition, if you see or if you understand, that there are various activities we we can do by exchange of the documents. Okay, and after this in advent of the information technology, the same thing we can do now with the use of the information technology. Suppose there is one requirement is the notice not only to the court, notice to the other department also. So suppose whenever the court has to summon a person, suppose A filed uh, you know a case or suit against B as a plaintiff, so B has to be get summoned. In the criminal cases also, the witness has to be summoned. So this is the thing we earlier used to through the document has to send that so and so case is against you, or in so case your witness as you are as a witness, your testimony is required and you have to come on this particular date. So वो टाइप रिटर्न या जो प्रिंटेड फॉर्म में होता था. Similarly, making the contract, if you see the whole Indian Contract Act 1872, it is devised that the contract generally made through the exchange of letters. So much things you will uh, see in the Indian Contract Act, section 3, 4, etc., where the communication, how the communication of proposal, communication of acceptance, communication of revocation is done. That is, the law is enacted by keeping in the mind that most of the contract at that time happened through the exchange of the document or through the letter or through the paper. There, whenever the university or any department want to hire the person, so they also has to advertise. Okay, they secretly cannot hire a person. Like the Delhi University want to hire the assistant professor or other non-teaching staff, so then they also has to give the notice or the advertisement, so that was also in the printed form. So there were so many things, but now these things are possible with the advent of the information technology. Like advertisement है, उसको आप वेबसाइट पे डाल दो, उसको आप इलेक्ट्रॉनिक गैजेट्स में डाल दो, अलग अलग और भी चीज़ें हैं वहाँ पे भी उसको पब्लिश कर दो. Similarly, if law faculty want to give the notice, put that notice on the website. Any student can access it. Earlier, what has to be done? Suppose your exam is on the April में. I'm not saying April में होंगे, just a hypothetical exam. And the date sheet. So earlier, before the advent of information technology, वो डेट शीट चिपका दी जाती थी लॉ फैकल्टी की दीवार पे. एंड नाउ इट इज प्रिज्यूम, बिकॉज इट इज इन द पब्लिक डोमेन, दैट एवरीवन शुड रीड. आपने नहीं भी पढ़ा होगा तो प्रजम्पशन वहां पे लग जाता था नोटिस का. ओके, now the same thing can be done by putting that information in the digital form or electronic form. And electronic form means maybe वो पीडीएफ में हो, वो वर्ड में हो, वो फाइल, या फिर जो नोटिस आपने फिजिकल किया है उसकी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक इमेज हो और वो आपने वेबसाइट पे कर दी. एंड दिस वेबसाइट इज पब्लिक वेबसाइट, एनीवन कैन एक्सेस इट. Okay, so this is also the same thing we can do. But before or the contract. Earlier it has to be through the letters. Now you can through the email exchange, you can make the contract through the WhatsApp communication, through the messenger, through different means are there. But there were the fear in the mind of the people that we are doing these types of the activities, sending the summons. Now even the summons also sent by the court through the WhatsApp, etc. Like in the, I think the I taught Indian evidence law also this year on the first year. So there, even the VC, the this video conferencing, and in Haryana and some other state, there is in every court mandatorily uh, video conferencing through which the evidences are taken to the doctors, to the prisoners, etc. So earlier, because it is in a criminal law, the requirement is that every evidence has to be taken in presence of the accused. So जब भी accused कोई witness होता था कोर्ट में देने, तो अक्यूज को वहां जेल से प्रोड्यूस किया जाता था इफ दैट पर्सन इज इन द जुडिशियल कस्टडी. नाउ दैट द सेम थिंग इज डन, बिकॉज उसको आप लाओगे, आपको फोर्सेस लगानी होगी, एंड सम टाइम इन हिंदी मूवीज यू हैव आई थिंक वॉच कि वो अक्यूज जो है वो फरार हो जाते थे, भाग जाते थे. नाउ द सेम थिंग इज थ्रू द वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग, एंड देयर अंडर द इंडियन evidence, the evidence law that mainly we read Indian Evidence Act. The question came that whether the video conferencing or the evidence through the video conferences are permissible under our legal system, our Indian Evidence Act or not. So that type of the thing come. And here also there is this thing, fear in the mind, that we are making the information on the website, we are making the contract through the information technology and all other things, whether they are legal or not. Because if there would be any question, so just to recognize those activity that we were already doing, but we were hesitant, or you can say just to recognize those activity that the information technology law as a boon, वरदान के रूप में, has provided us. So these all section 4, section 5, section 6, section 6A, these are in form of the known as e-governance or legal recognition of the things. Okay, so this portion we will discuss under the legal recognition, and this comes directly, these provision lifted from the UNICITRAL, United Nations Commission on the International Trade, UNICITRAL model of on e-commerce. The second portion is the authentication. Now see, in our what you say earlier, suppose there is a document, how the document has to be authenticated. Suppose you receive a document from the Delhi University or to the other, by seeing the sign. So the person who is issuing that letter has to sign it. Whenever you write an application, how the law faculty will come to the knowledge, or the the law center will come to the knowledge that this is something demanded by this particular student whose name is written by sign. And वो sign फिर match करते थे, like in the bank also you do, or withdrawal of the money, etc. तो sign की requirement. So the initial or the signature is the way by which our uh, the material that we have in the typewritten form, or handwritten, or the printed form, for the authentication. Now suppose there is a notice. Earlier, suppose there is a notice, and on that notice you find the signature of the PIC, and then by comparing it, you can say that this is the authentic letter by this. Now there is possibility that some other person are doing the similar sign, and वो तो हो ही सकता है, जैसे like murder can do, the hurt can do, but there was the legal framework. If any person do that type of the similar sign, there was the legal framework, okay, by which that person can be punished. Now in the electronic record, so much information is available, and many times, in this happened to the Delhi University also, that there are the fake letters that university will open on this date, or there will be paper on this date, because they can take the seal of the university, can write in that manner, and then even they can copy the signature of the registrar and then affix it. Okay, And so this is something that can be the problem based, because what is the genuinity, the authenticity of the electronic record, and that authenticity is very important. In the cyberspace, there is always possibility of manipulation. There is always possibility of manipulation. There is even this there has to be even this requirement that from where this particular letter has came, that means who has issued this particular electronic record. Okay. And there must be some principle by which we can fix the liability of that person who has issued it. So these three things are important. And so the second portion under the second chapter is authentication of the electronic record. And for doing the authentication of the electronic record, there are two methods. One is digital signature, another is electronic signature. The purpose or the function significance of both these method are the same, but only one इलेक्ट्रॉनिक सिग्नेचर इज टेक्नोलॉजिकल न्यूट्रल, उसमें कोई भी टेक्नोलॉजी हो सकती है. डिजिटल सिग्नेचर में एक स्पेसिफिक टेक्नोलॉजी है, वो ही यूज होती है. ओके, दैट इज ओनली द डिफरेंस. देयर इन द पास्ट आल्सो देयर वर मैनी article with respect to digital and electronic signature. So basic purpose is authenticity. Now how the authenticity has to be maintained? The example I has given कि वो साइन वाला चीज तो अब चलेगा नहीं, because that's in the Delhi University itself 5-6 fake communication has been we found in this year 2000 last 2021. And so their electronic signature is not that digital image of the signature, but it is an encryption method by which message is encrypted, and the person who is encrypted, ही इज द यूनिक पर्सन. जिस मेथड से वो इंक्रिप्ट करेगा, जो करेगा वो यूनिक होगा. एंड द पर्सन हु इज डूइंग दैट, उसके ऊपर आप लाइबिलिटी भी फिक्स कर दो. लाइक इन द our documentary things, if you have written, if you file anything before the court of law and there is the signature verification and that turned to be wrong, so action can be taken against you. You cannot say that I have not read it. When there is a sign, there is always presumption that you have read it. So similar type of these three things. One is the authenticity of the electronic record. Second is the for establishing or finding the resource from which this particular record generated. And the third thing is for fixing the liability or principle of liability by which that person cannot deny that this record has not been originated from them. So these are the two things. Now, the first I am taking is the legal recognition. Here we will discuss section 4, 5, 6, 6A. Come to the section 4. Yes, any of you please read section 4. It is under the chapter 3, electronic governance. Yes, guys. Section 4, Vikash, Akhand, D. Yogesh.
I'm not carrying sir.
Okay, no. Any of you? Do any of you have direct in any form, digital or the hard form with you? क्या है किसी के पास?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Chaitanya, you are the CR, na? So it's your responsibility to have. It's either the responsibility of the teacher or to the CR. Other are just the listener. We cannot say anything. But you at
Not
least,
the
you
okay.
at least have.
Sir,
Yes,
sir,
yeah.
I'll read.
Okay.
Legal recognition of electronic records, where any law provides that information or any other matter shall be in writing or in typewritten or printed form, then, notwithstanding anything contained in such law, such requirement shall be deemed to have been satisfied if such information or matter is A. rendered or made available in electronic form, and B. accessible so as to be usable for a subsequent reference.
Yeah. So see, this provision is very clear after reading it, but still I will explain it. See, there is a legal fiction. This is a legal fiction. This is the legal fiction created by the law. It say that whatever information or other matter by any law, it is required to be written in typewritten form or the printed form, like giving the summon, giving the notice, advertisement, contract, anything. It's not saying that it is applicable to one thing. It's saying that anything where is the requirement of the law that it should be in written form, it should be in printed form, और it should be in handwritten form. ठीक है, किसी डॉक्यूमेंट की फॉर्म में होगा. द सेम थिंग will be deemed to be, and when there is the deeming provision, that means it is legal fiction, that whatever the requirement is saying, that will deem to be satisfied if it is done in the manner where there are these two requirements given under the section 4, that would be that has to be satisfied. And there is another phrase used, notwithstanding anything contained in any such law. And that means it is non obstandi provision. Even if it is not obstandi provision, section 81, I think we have read, there it says that this law have the okay, Satprakash, I will come to the question, your question also. So even if this non-obstandi clause has not been used here, section 81 make it that the Information Technology Act is applicable, or it has the applicability over the other laws. Okay, that means it has the overriding effect. And so wherever in any law, whether as in the for giving the notice, for giving the advertisement in the for the public, for writing the applications, for in the court matters or any other law, wherever there is the requirement that there has to be one communication through in the document form, that may be in printed or typewritten. Okay, the earlier traditional devised method, the same thing would be now deemed to be satisfied, though it is not satisfied because the law is saying there, but it is the deeming provision, and that means it is legally recognizing the things that we are now able to do with the use of information technology. So when it will be satisfied, if that information, the word written in the first line, where any law provides that any information or any matter. So if that uh, information or matter is rendered available in electronic form, and electronic form we, I think we already discussed in our last chapter. So the electronic form means any you can say the method, or any the information will said to be in the electronic form when that information is generated, sent, received, or stored in media, magnetic, optical memory, microfilm, etc., etc. Okay, and so suppose there is any application that you have to put for taking the benefit of particular thing. Okay, you have to apply for that, and the law of that particular thing is saying that you have to write an application to so and so officer. So that is the requirement of law. Okay, similarly the second example I am taking that for our university, for the information student has to be informed by that by notice and affixing it on the conspicuous place. Okay, so similar in both these two cases, the requirement of this physical form, or this requirement of this written will be satisfied if that information you are making available in the electronic form. That means the information that is generated, sent, received, or stored in any of the information system methods, like in the optical, memory, magnetic, etc. And the second is it is accessible so as to be usable for subsequent reference. And the second requirement that is very important, if you are making available any information in electronic form, and that is one time usable, that is one time usable, So the requirement of section 4 would not be satisfied. Okay, so suppose you just put the information for one time, but it is not available after that. So there would be not the requirement of section 4 would not be satisfied. And so the information or the material that you are making or rendering available in the electronic form has to be also available or accessible for the further reference also. And if uh, the second requirement is not fulfilled, then the section 4 will not apply, and that particular information or matter would lose the applicability of the section 4, and that would not be legally recognized. Now this thing you can now use to the many activities that we do in the daily life. Even the email that we send for the communication. Suppose you received the email from the court regarding a particular thing, and in the CRPC or CPC or through any law, it is the requirement that court has to inform, okay, in the written that thing, and then they are making available, and this info, this email conversation is even available for the further reference also. So that means the requirement of that particular law has been satisfied. Okay, before going much into, I am taking the question of Satprakash. Sir, what is importance of keys if authenticity came into question? Satprakash, I have not got your question. Please clarify it. Satprakash, please clarify what actually you want to ask. Satprakash, Satprakash, Mr. Satprakash. Satprakash, are you listening? Okay, maybe he's not available. The second,
Sir,
yes.
sir, in between your voice is breaking. I don't know it's at my end or your end, but can you explain that subsequent reference once again, please?
Subsequent reference means it is available for the further use also. After that also you can use it. Like suppose there is a requirement that the student has to be informed. Okay, it is always the requirement. Suppose I'm taking okay, Satprakash. Suppose I'm taking that example of Delhi University want to hire some employees, teaching employees, or you can say non-teaching employee. So there is the requirement that that advertisement has to be published. Okay, so how it would be published? That it would be earlier it has to be in the printed for in the like the Rozgar Samachar or some other daily, it has to be published. Okay, or suppose it is the result of a particular vacancy or result of a particular admission, so that has to be affixed before that commission or before that institution. Or you can take other example also. Now if that same result, the same advertisement, if is available on the website of that particular uh, you know institution, that particular university, that means there is the compliance of the first requirement, that you are making or you are rendering available that information or that particular matter. And because that website of that institution or that particular office is a public website, anyone can access it. That means the first requirement is complete. The second is that it must not be only one time use, that एक बार information हुई, now it is not available. It has to be in permanent form, at least up to that the purpose has been served. Okay, and so you see we have our law faculty website, many information you will find it now also, after 2 months also, after 3 months also, maybe after some period of time when that information got its relevance, that can be removed. So that is the purpose. If that information is only one time information, only one time, after that you will not find it, so that means again it would be injustice. And so it made that that information one is providing or rendering available should be also available for the further reference also. So that is the meaning. Okay, Deepak.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir,
uh,
before we
yes sir.
proceed further,
Hmm.
I have one question, sir.
Hmm.
Sir, what is the difference between a digital signature and an electronic signature?
See, maybe in the detail we will discuss after the next classes. But as you ask, the digital signature and electronic signature, the purpose of both these signature is same like we have in our traditional method in the you can say offline method. Signature का क्या purpose है? The purpose of the signature is authentication of that particular document. Suppose you filed a suit, you filed a plaint, you have to sign it that this is something you are saying. And what are the legal implication of your signature? The one that you read it, the one that this is the document that is generated by or this is something that is it generated or it from the Vikas Deshmukh. The second is that now you cannot deny, sir, this is not from me because your signature is there. If your signature is fake, that is another situation. Okay. And the third is that if there is any changes made in it, if there is any tampering, then it can be found it that is the tampering. There is the tampering. Okay. So these three things has to be seen, and that's why when there is any application, any type of document where you file in the court or to the other institution, they are very particular. Even wherever there is cutting, you have to give the initial just to stop the the tampering. And so same issue of authenticity is in the cyberspace. When the document are sent, when the document are received, when the document we read or got in the cyberspace, there is the possibility that it is pretended that it was from the Vikas. Suppose he is the that particular person. So the first thing that it is the same document that Vikas has sent. It has not been tempered in the this whole process. The second thing is that this document that pretend to be sent by or pretend to be generated by Vikas is actually generated by Vikas. And the third thing that whenever there is question and we want to fix the liability of Vikas that you send this particular type of the document and that is saying this thing, then Vikas cannot deny it. Like in the our offline system, when there is the signature, you cannot say that sir मैंने तो पढ़ा नहीं, मैंने नहीं लिखा. अरे भाई आपके signature है, इसका मतलब आप इससे comply करते हो. When there is a partnership deed, when there is any other property registration, एक signature ही तो होता है, and that bind you. So there is the legal implication of your signature. So similarly here, these three things has to be used for the authentication of the electronic record. And digital signature and electronic signature actually do that authenticity. Electronic signature may be any type of the method by which these three things can be achieved, and the digital signature is a specific type of the technology, the asymmetric crypto system. एक की उसके पास और एक की पब्लिक की प्राइवेट की, उसका जो एक मेथड जो होता है उसके हिसाब से जो होता है. So that is digital signature. So digital signature and electronic signature have the same significance, same purpose. The only difference is that digital signature is technological specific and the electronic signature is technological neutral. Have you got the answer this, Vikash?
Very much, sir. One last thing, sir. So suppose I'm sending a mail to any person. So it can be classified as a electronic signature if my signature is embedded in it, electronic signature is embedded in it.
No, no, it is not electronic signature or digital signature. See, the communication we do, it is not that. And that's why there are many ways, many methods, many electronic platform by which we can communicate to the other person. uh, the WhatsApp give that encrypted things, and so there is the encryption is there. That means by that encryption, you can say, suppose you receive the message from me, from my phone number, it is shown to your WhatsApp number. So that is the authenticity because WhatsApp is saying that encryption. But I'm not doing any method by which I'm encrypting. And the digital signature means the method I'm adopting. The method I'm adopting. There I'm not adopting the method. So it is the simple communication. The way it is done is through very authentic way, like in the offline system, how the communication is done in the like suppose we take the example of university. Suppose a letter is sent from the law faculty to Delhi University main branch. It is through the human being, okay, and just to that there would not be any tampering etc. So this WhatsApp is that purpose कि आपने एक ऐसी चूज कर ली जिसमें टेम्परिंग नहीं होगी, but you have not applied any method. When you are not applying, you are not doing that thing, then it is not the electronic signature. When you get the certificate and sometime the this traffic office license, sometime your income tax certificate etc, there when you download that particular document, it is written that it is digitally signed or electronically signed, okay. So there the person who issuing basically using the electronic signature as an encryption method. So whenever it goes to you, that particular thing, that matter or that information, it's saying that it is neither it is tempered. The second thing is that it is from that particular office that it pretended to be. And whenever there is any requirement that I got this notice, that authority cannot deny that we have not issued. So that the email you have sent, that is not digital signature. Okay, digital signature is not the electronic image of your offline signature. It is the encrypt what you say that method of encrypting the message. Vikash?
Sir,
Sir, in order to understand further, see, sir,
Vikas
suppose
will
any person,
will so legal definition in detail. Uh, like PAN card if made through digital sign.
so that
Saprakash
is
is
what I
sharing
wanted to
something.
say, extending
For
the Vikas point.
hmm,
Like earlier, the PAN card used to have the signature, like the signature is embarked
hmm,
on it. These days, the PAN card has been linked with Aadhaar, and that comes with the digital signature. So that is a great example
hmm.
of the into differentiating between the electronic signature.
When you will read all these law or like IPC before coming into law, you are not awareing when you are slapping which offense you are committing, when you are doing this thing which offense you are committing or other person is doing. But now I think you can recognize in your daily life. Similarly, when you read whole this information technology law, after that when you go in your daily life, you will feel okay, this is this thing, this is this thing, this is recognized, this is not recognized, where law is required, this is the lacuna etc. So please have some patience and let me do
Hi,
my
sir,
job.
I have just
So
one small clarification, sir.
mm,
I just want to
mhm,
understand, sir. See, suppose a person using a particular organization domain name, like you have given example, you just mentioned example of a Delhi University. Any person who is working with Delhi University, and he has allotted a particular given a domain name. I mean, actually, he has given allotted to the a particular email encryption. So suppose any person who's sending a mail from that encryption, means that particular domain space, then it can be classified as a and he is suppose
see
he is
this is,
sending any
I
communication
got
to any person. Is it?
I got your answer. I got your answer. And this you means that a particular domain name or particular email name that pretend to be from that particular, like if someone create the email of dean of the Delhi University and then some person mislead, or the domain name that this thing is used. There is two things. One is that at the in the intellectual property law also, and that's why intellectual property and IT have its correlation. There also it is now well recognized and well established. One cannot get that type of the domain name, and if one is doing that, then there is the violation there. The legal framework is there. Okay. And the second thing is that if that person is doing or you are misleading, so that means this is the problem covered under the you can say deception of the mark. uh, and we will discuss in part 2, part B of the information technology. There is whole chapter of this domain name, etc. Cases we have, CFI wala jo case hai, both they have the same domain name and person misled by that, because domain name after this information technology is one of the most attractive IPR, intellectual property right. If some person has made this particular type of the domain name, so that has to, but there is the at international level there is the authority that look after these the activities of the domain name. This problem will go to that. So when we will discuss that domain name now, you will get better understanding and better answer of this question. Okay, Vikash. There is another thing, Vikash.
Yes, 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 sir.
Vikash,
Yes,
are
sir.
you
Yes, sir.
satisfied?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. There is yeah, yes, good. Now there is this thing that sometimes students have this idea that sir, sometime the company hires. So when the company hire the the document they issue the digital electronically sign or digitally sign, or you can say whether we when we have to make the contract and we are making the contract through the electronic medium, so should it be digitally signed or electronically signed, etc. For that, I want to make it clear that Indian Contract Act 1872 says that the contract under section 2H means an agreement enforceable by law, and that how that agreement has come, there also the method by which you communicate is not limited one. You can communicate by any method. It's saying that when person communicate, it's not limiting only to that thing. But then the section 3, 4, 5, etc., talking about how that communication, in that communication how that revocation, etc., is possible. And so any type of the method we are using, like through the WhatsApp, through the messenger, through the email, through any other method we are making proposal and accepting it, the moment the proposal is accepted by the person to whom the proposal is targeted, it became the contract. And I think you all aware that Anson said that the acceptance to the proposal is as like the matchsticks to the train of gunpowder. एक gunpowder की train है और उस पे अब matchstick हो गए, तो that cannot be undone. So this thing, and so for making the contract in the digital form or through the electronic means, or you can say through the use of information technology, it is not required that that thing has to be signed electronically or digitally. The same thing will become foreseeable when the proposer and acceptor come at the platform, and the proposal of the proposer has to be accepted in the full term, whatever the requirement there under the Indian Contract Act 1872. So that would be, so the SMS, SMS, email, etc., in any of these form, the contract can be made. Okay. Now come to the second provision here in the electronic governance, the legal recognition of electronic signature. Uh, Time is over, so because I have another class and the student have approached me. So in the next class we will discuss rest of it. Uh, Before that, I want to